What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of
Under the Hood.
Yes, sir. My name is Taurus Lovely. I'm the director of percussion here at Florida Memorial University. This is my right-hand man, Gertie Chevrolet, assistant director of percussion here at the Florida Memorial University. Might I say, grand champion Florida Memorial University.
Back to back.
Back.
Under the Hood. What is Under the Hood? So basically, all we doing with this series, we're going to break down all the cadences we played at Destination HBCU and give y'all like a behind the scenes of how we went about composing them, arranging them, the inspirations of these cadences, and how we went about teaching this stuff to the section to get them to execute it at the highest level possible, which allowed us to bring home this for the second year in a row. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of dedication from myself, Taurus, and all our members of our drumline, man. It took a lot of work, and we're very happy and grateful that we were able to bring it home yet again against some top tier competition. But yeah, man, we're gonna show y'all how we went about structuring these cadences, all three of them. So today, our main focus will be round 1, Kalo.
Yes, sir. Round 1, Kalo. How did you come up with the name Kalo for the cadence? Where did that come from?
So Kalo, the inspiration for that one, that was inspired by one of my favorite set players on Instagram, J. Kalo, fire. If you have never seen him before, please follow him. He's dope. There's one video he did where he played this one line. And then when I first wrote it, I just wanted to repeat it. But then when I brought the idea to you, he was like, let's not repeat it. Let's turn it to something completely different. And that day in the office, literally, band was outside. It was homecoming too. The band was outside practicing, getting ready to do homecoming show. We already taught them the beats for the show, and they were just running and getting reps in. So we just were in the office, arranging, figuring out, okay, how do we want to take this idea? And one of the things I did do with that rhythm, this rhythm here, I wanted to figure out how to put snare drum chops to that. So all I really did was something simple, but still effective. Right? Oh. Have to make that a little better. But yeah, that's basically the idea with that. So we took that theme and we just built it into this entire just aggressive drum core-ish type of intro. And that's basically the entire first stanza. There's a lot of weird things in there, a lot of stuff that the snare drums are playing that most guys don't normally play, which by the way, if you don't know, we have a drum camp coming up, advanced players, show up. But other than that, that was basically the approach of that whole first stanza. Something aggressive, something that just punch you in the mouth immediately and just get the judge's attention out the gate like, wow, they're really going for it. And just had to make a good first impression.
Yeah. So Kalo, the funny thing about Kalo too is when he came to me with the idea, last year when we were getting ready for Destination, I stumbled upon a cool little idea and we didn't get a chance to really use it. So Kalo became a cadence that has 2 stanzas. It has a first stanza and it has a second stanza, and we practiced it that way. The first stanza was almost completely written by Gertie, and the second stanza was with me sprinkling in some little tenor drum parts here and there. And then the second stanza was an idea that I wrote some years ago, but we kind of messed with it again when we were getting ready for Destination last year. And Gertie came and sprinkled some real hot sauce on that part on the second stanza. So without further ado, we're going to go into Kalo and let's get under the hood of that. All you.
Whew. So the first stanza, snare drum wise, I'll just go over the snare drum part real quick. So literally nothing too crazy or standard snare drum chop out intro. So with that, we did a lot of like, with that, just like I said, regular chop stuff. I know this part, Taurus, he came in with this part, and then I decided to modulate that. So that triplet into the 16th notes just to help give it that vibe. And the tonals in this in cadence, I'm just gonna be so honest, we just said screw it. We had a lot of experienced tonal players. Our top 3 came back. We had a really talented 4 and 5, well, a really talented freshman on 4, and our 5 also, we had a really good person on 5. So we said, screw it, y'all just gonna run this entire cadence. And that whole first stanza especially, I just said, okay, you guys are gonna match and just put a lot of color to that snare part. So literally, if you listen in the video, all you hear is the bass drums the entire time, matching the snare part, just going for broke on everything. The next part, not the next part, but a part I really want to highlight, it comes after this. After that part right there, ooh, we got to do that again because I did not like how that sounds. Yeah, there we go. So on that part right there, you always got to, if it's not good the first time, you always got to do it again. That's how you practice. But after that chunk, we have a whole part where literally the quads are just chopping. They have a nice little solo happening. The section's grooving around it. And then we have the part where it really just starts to take the cadence. It's kind of like the ending kind of helps, makes you realize like, okay, they're about to just start. They're already going crazy, but now it's like, we got to take it up a notch. And it's this whole part. And all that leads to the whole second stanza. And that was, when I wrote that, it was just to be just, again, punch you in the mouth, aggressive. And then it leads into his stanza, which is just a nice, chill, just hard rocking groove that it really sets the tone of the second stanza, honestly. It really does. Like, because you got this whole, I'm gonna let you explain that, because that job,
so what we're gonna do right here is we're gonna play the video and let you guys hear the section play the first stanza. This is the introduction to Kalo. Here you go, check this out. Yeah, that's dope. So, okay, now, part two of Kalo, which we like to call the second stanza, was the idea that I was messing around with, like I said, last year, but we didn't get to use it at Destination. So when Gertie came in with the Kalo idea, I was like, yo, I got the perfect part to go along with what you wrote. And now, that first stanza, like we just talked about, it's chop heavy. It's going crazy. It will make anybody stand at attention, like what is going on here. And then after you hear all of those beats go by, that second stanza starts and it just smooths out. That thing. So, what you're hearing here, let me explain this to you. When the basses kick in, everybody's playing in 4, all right? And then the quints go, and when they start playing their groove, they're playing their groove in 7. So you have them playing in 7 over a groove that's happening in 4. That's a drum set thing that the drum set guys like to do, is playing these different meters over each other. Okay, listen closely. You're gonna hear the quints playing in 7, the rest of the section grooving that. And right after that, the snare solo starts, and then the bass drums take over playing in 7 while the snare drums are playing in 4. The bass drums take over the 7, snare start playing in 4. You're gonna hear the bass drums just boom, boom, boom. Just like that, while those snare drums play a solo that I wrote that's playing in 4. I want you to check this out. We're gonna start stanza 2, and I just want you to listen to the quints come in 7, the bass drums take over the 7, and the snares play in 4 over that 7. Check this out. Yeah, that's what's going on right there. You got the bass drums playing in 7, the snares are soloing in 4. And there's a part where you can hear the whole section go bang, 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 bang. There's a spot where those two parts catch up. And if we were writing that whole thing out, the bass drums, I think they played 6 bars of 7, and then they played 1 bar of 6 that jumps them back with everybody. That let everybody join in together and land the same way. And then at that point, everybody catches playing in 6. And then it jumps to 2 bars in 5, where you hear what we like to call the James Bond. Dun 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 dun. You hear that? Snares going. They playing that whole little riff over that, and then it jumps back into 6, where everybody for the rest of the cadence is playing in 6. And the groove is just absolutely going crazy. When we get in 6, there's a snare solo. I'm going to talk about this snare solo a little bit, and then I'm going to let you guys hear this snare solo. The idea behind this snare solo is a sax player or a trumpet player playing bebop, playing jazz, or a female singer scatting and bebop over there. So the solo goes. All that. I'm got this little small space, but yeah. That's what you're hearing in that solo. It's being stylistic instead of just playing a bunch of rudiments, drum chops. Yeah, it's rudiments there, but stylistically playing. It goes crazy. Check this out. Here's that snare part. And what we did was, my man Blondie Dread, he's my head quint player. He wrote a quint part. He wrote a quint part over that snare solo. Absolutely nuts, man. Check this out.
Mr. Zaire Harrison.
Mr. Zaire.
Southwest DeKalb.
Crazy work. Check this out.
There's a lot. Like I said, shout out to Zaire. Amazing job putting those arounds for the quads to match what the snares are doing. Now, after that, we have the tenor drum solo. Now, originally, this tenor drum solo was a bass drum solo, and we were originally going to have the bass drums and the tenors split it together, but we realized, you know what, let's take the bass drums out, let's give it some clarity, and let's let the bass drum, the tenors, let's have the tenors just take that by themselves. And so what I wanted to do with this solo, with the tenors, just make them do things that a bass drum section would normally do, and just take it to the next level, because our tonal tenors, everybody talks about them. Everybody knows that's something that makes us unique, something that when you think of Flomo, you think of the tonal tenor section, the different tones, the way we go about writing for them. And so I wanted to make this solo different from any solo we've done before. And so I was like, you know what? Tonal tenors, tonal bass drum, let's push them to that absolute limit. And so they have some things like some 30-second note doubles. You can hear some tap drags coming up from the 5th tenor all the way up to the 1st tenor. And then the top 2 tenors, they split a paradiddle diddle, basically. And the 1st tenor, they're playing 4 notes. They're playing 4 notes, while the 2nd tenor, they're playing 2 notes. So if I were to just play it kind of like how they're doing it, which should sound like, that's how they're going about it. And so we'll play that real quick for y'all, just so y'all can hear the tenor solo. And while that's happening, Mr. T here, he put a very just nice set type of groove, almost jazz.
Yeah, it's like
almost
drum and bass.
Yeah, like
it's
jazz.
like when you listen to, one of my favorite drum set players is JoJo Meyer. He's a drum and bass guy. You're gonna hear him do a lot of. So we took the snare drums on the stack with a little rim shot, and they played the whole drum and bass theme over the tenor drum solo. Killing. And this is the kind of stuff you can't really hear in a gym setting, you know, so check this out.
Now that's the tenor solo. Now we get to the outro. Now the outro, basically the snares and quads. They're chopping out the entire time, while the rest of the section they're playing, and the bass drums and tenors they're just building all that up. So while the snares are out here playing stuff like this, while they're playing all of that, bass drums are just bass drums and tenors. Just building that up, and it leads to the ending where there's just a whole, where we have the same thing. And that's basically that whole rhythm that the section plays. And the quads actually at the end, they split that rhythm. So it sounds like do-da-do-da-do-da-down on that ending part. And there's one more piece I feel like I'm forgetting about. Oh, the tenors. While the bass drums are playing this, tenor drums, and I'll let Mr. T explain that. Tenors are just doing our normal thing with the tenors, giving that melodic feel. They're splitting this pattern, this rhythm, this groove underneath all of that, just to help give it that, little extra sauce.
Yeah, it was just that call and response thing. Everybody uses call and response, and that's what the tenor drums were doing under that whole outro. Absolutely crazy, man. We're gonna stop talking right now. We're gonna play this outro, and then we're gonna let you guys hear this cadence again from top to bottom, so you can think about all the things that we just talked about and how we implemented those things to make this cadence Kalo work. It's a cadence that has two stanzas, stanza 1 and stanza 2. They both come together to make some crazy stuff, man. Here we go, check this out, Kalo.
Kalo in its entirety. Now, we happy that y'all joined us for this first episode of Under the Hood. Now, please stay tuned, because this ain't the only thing we about to break down. We still got 2 more cadences from that night that we got to break down for y'all. And as a little bit of a side note, everybody likes to always ask the question, dang, do you guys write this stuff can't be on paper. So let me dispel a little bit of a notion. This right here is the first stanza of Kalo in its entirety written out. So yes, a lot of our stuff, there's a good portion of our music that is written out.
Hey man, let's keep them guessing, man. Let's keep them guessing. But they gotta keep guessing, man. If they run, don't worry about it if we run. Don't worry about it.
But I will say, the man himself did say we gotta keep y'all guessing. But just to dispel a little bit misnomer, yes, some of it, a good chunk of our music's written. But how much of it's written, I'll leave y'all that. I'll leave that for them to decide, like you said. But yo, we appreciate y'all coming to this first episode of Under the Hood again. We gonna show y'all the next 2 cadences, which if that was crazy, my goodness, these next 2, these were probably the 2 that everybody was talking about. Those are the 2 that made everybody just open their eyes and be like, yo, they are not playing this year. They came to win. And safe to say, job done. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining us. And again, this is episode 1 of Under the Hood at Florida Memorial University. Suicide of 5.